Thank you for joining the 154-pound triple header conference call. As a reminder, before I turn the call over to Lou DiBella, I do want to remind everyone that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific, that there is another media conference call for October the 14th, PBC on Fox, card featuring Santa Cruz, Avalos, Mayers, and Gutierrez. Your host for today, Lou DiBella, will begin.
Thank you. And actually, there's a call tomorrow. October 14th is going to be a loaded, unbelievable night of boxing. And it starts with Leah Santa Cruz and Abner Maris in separate fights on a PBC Championship Boxing doubleheader from the StubHub Center in Carson, California, airing on Fox, not FS1, Fox, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. That show ends at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. We have a tremendous Showtime Championship Boxing triple header presented by Premier Boxing Champions. Champion Erislandy Lara against undefeated former Olympian challenger Terrell Gausha, WBA 54-pound title. WBC 54-pound champion Jermell Charlo versus Erickson Lubin, battle of undefeateds for the BC 54-pound title. And young, sensational champion Jarrett Hurd, IBF 54-pound champion, versus former champion, consummate professional Austin Trout for the IBF championship. So tremendous event at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday night, October 14th, 2/17, airs on Showtime at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Tickets to this event are available they start at $400 for VIP. Ringside's down to $50. They can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com by calling 1-800-745-3000. Also at the American Express box office at the Barclays Center. So it's an unbelievable night of boxing starting on Fox in Carson, California, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, going over to Brooklyn. And I'm really proud to promote this triple header. It's an unbelievable night of boxing. There'll be an unbelievable undercard. Also, the sensational undercard, Tony Harrison's coming back on that undercard. One of the Serrano sisters, Cindy Serrano, one of the two champion Serrano sisters on the undercard, on a loaded undercard, and then going to these three great bouts. We're going to start the call with the Jarrett Hurd Austin Trout fight. Former WBA 154-pound champion Austin Trout made 4 defenses, including a well-known unanimous decision win over Miguel Cotto in December 2012. Austin's got a great record of 30-3, 17 KOs out of La Cruces, New Mexico. Like I said, this guy's a consummate pro, and this should be a real test for young stud champion Jarrett Hurd. I'm going to start with Austin Trout. Austin, can you say a few words?
Yes, giving all honor and praises to the Most High. I'm blessed with this opportunity. Not only be a part of a great card like this, but to be in a great fight with a champion like Jarrett Hurd. Utmost respect for the guy. He didn't have to take this fight, so I want to thank him for making a defense like this. Camp has been great. My weight's good. I'm in shape. I'm feeling strong. I'm peaking at the right time, and I'm more than excited to go out there and show everybody that not only am I a live dog, but I'm championship material.
Thank you, Austin. I mean, you're definitely championship material. You've been a champion, and you've proven that. This next young kid is championship material, too. I know it. He's beaten my fighters before, and I've gotten to promote a number of his fights, and he's a sensational young fighter with power, 20-0 with 14 KOs, from Maryland, Jarrett Swift Hurd.
How's it going, man? Yeah, I want to, thank God for this opportunity. It's going great for me also. This is a 154-pound card where all the 154-pound get to display their talent, and Austin Trout is the guy that we're up against. We know who we're up against. He's a great fighter, a veteran with a lot of experience, and this is something that I need under my belt to solidify me as one of the greats. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity, and I can't wait till October 14th.
Thank you, Jarrett. We're going to open up for questioning now. Guys, this is a real, important triple header in the 54-pound division because we're going to sort through 6 of the very best guys, and at the end of this, 3 of them are going to take a big step forward and 3 of them, a step back. And the division's going to start clarifying itself. So this is a great night of boxing, 3 competitive matchups. Questions for Jarrett and Austin, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Austin, my first question is for you. Good to talk to you today. It's been 17 months since your last fight, and also, I believe, only your second fight. This will be in 25 months. Can you speak to the reason for your long layoff, Austin? I don't know if you had any injuries or there was some other issue.
Actually, no. There's no reason for the layoff. No injuries. No nothing. And really, I can't tell you why I've had such a layoff. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. But I thank God I've been in the gym and keeping in shape. Call it vanity or not, trying not to be fat. And trying to keep this beach bod. So I'm still sharp. We've knocked all the ring rust out in camp, and it's just time to work.
So you've been trying to get a fight. Is that my understanding?
Yeah. I've been trying to get a fight, and I felt, especially after Charlo dispatched J-Rock, I felt my stock rose, and I should have been put right back in. But, things happen, and things don't happen for a reason.
So now you come back after the long layoff, and, obviously you're not getting any favors here. You're stepping in with, as Lou said, a young, strong champion, undefeated, coming off a big victory. Do you feel like you might have needed a single fight before you took this step up, or are you satisfied to go back in the ring with what I think most people would perceive as a very dangerous fight?
Well, I did want to not say a tune-up, but a get-back fight. But at the same time, you can't pass up these opportunities because they don't come too often, So I wasn't going to turn down this shot, just for a tune-up. So I had to come and get what they gave me.
So can you give me your thoughts about what you've seen in Jarrett Hurd? I mean, he's obviously a powerful fighter. He's coming off a big knockout of Harrison to win the title. Was a good up-and-comer before that with some of the victories he reeled off against Molina and Jojo Dan. So what are your general thoughts about the type of fighter that Jarrett is?
Well, like everybody knows he's an undefeated champion for a reason. So, you can't slack on a kid like that. And he is a big, strong dude, and it's crazy because I don't know how these big guys are making 154. But I feel like I've been here before. My last fight was on a stacked card with just junior middleweights. And this guy was extremely big for the junior middleweight division. He was the undefeated champion of the IBF. So it's almost like deja vu. But at the same time, we know him and Charlo aren't the same person or the same guy. We see a couple holes in his game, but at the end of the day, it's just going to end up being me and him. And, we're going to have to punch through those holes.
All right, very good. I had a couple of questions for Jarrett. Jarrett, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
You come back for your first title defense off the Tony Harrison victory. Whether Austin Trout's been off for 17 months or not, everybody knows he's a very competent veteran fighter, been a champion, fought a lot of top fighters, won some, lost some, but pretty much always in the fights. Can you just give me your perspective about taking on the caliber of an Austin Trout in your first defense? In other words, no one's giving you just a nobody type fight for the first defense. You're fighting a real opponent.
Right, and this is a fight actually that I chose. We knew what's on the line with this fight with Austin Trout. He's no slouch, and with his 3 losses, he's been in every fight, so he's never been stopped. And we knew that this fight was going to be tough, especially for a first defense. But that describes me as a fighter. It lets you know my mindset. I am a true champion. I want to fight the best, and I don't want the the fights that's not going to progress me and put me in line for the even bigger fights. I want to take the tough fights that get me ready for that. So, I feel like if it's the slightest chance that an opportunity presents itself where I can, better myself in my career, I'm willing to take that chance.
Jarrett, do you feel like with your size and your punching power, Austin's layoff, he's a bit older than you, that maybe you could basically just overpower him and win this, fairly easily? Is that a thought in your mind?
Oh yeah, like I'm definitely the bigger fighter. It's always a thought in my mind to overpower him. But I look at this fight much different than Tony Harrison fight. That was kind of the mindset with the Tony Harrison fight because Tony Harrison was the type of fighter to gas out on the later rounds and as pressure stayed on top of him. And Austin Trout proves different. He's going to be ready for 12 rounds. So I feel like this fight is going to be more technical and more of a who's the smarter guy outside the ring. We're not really banking on Austin Trout to get tired off the pressure because he's coming ready for 12 rounds.
All right, and just lastly for you, Jarrett, you are one of 3 world title fights in the same weight class on this card. I'm wondering if you're going to fight first, I believe, on the telecast. Are you going to be, or how close attention are you going to pay to the other 2 fights? Because from what Lou says and what the Showtime people say, the idea here is have you guys separate yourselves on the card on October 14th, and then hopefully put the winners together and, as Lou said, get some clarity here in the weight class.
Oh, yeah. After me, after a successful night on October 14th after my fight, I'm not doing no interviews and nothing. I'm going straight ringside and tuning into both of those fights. So, that's why people ask me, did you want to be the opener or would you prefer being the main event? And I said, I'll take being the opener because, after I finish handling my business in the ring, I can observe my future opponents, ringside in Lara and Charlo and Lubin and Terrell Gausha.
All right, very good. Guys, thank you very much. Look forward to this card. Appreciate it.
Our next question is going to come from Bill Knight from El Paso Times. Please go ahead.
Austin, your whole career has kind of been punctuated with long layoffs and by fighting in other people's backyards. Do you feel like all that past experience will help you go into this fight? It's like more of the same?
Absolutely. The thing, like you said, this ain't my first time being laid off, and for no good reason, too. So, I've been here before. Luckily, I stay in the gym. Just looking on the bright side, maybe the Most High had me laid off for all these times to keep me preserved. I don't have as much wear and tear as most guys my age and has been fighting as long as I have. So, now I'm still fresh. My legs are still strong, and I'm ready to take full advantage of my physical peakness, that I'm in right now.
And are you doing your whole camp in Cruces? Or?
Yeah, I've kept the whole camp here. We have good altitude, great running trails. From here is where I won my title, and I successfully defended it. And so, we just brought it back to where it started.
Okay. Thank you, Austin.
Our next question is going to come from Felix Chavez. Excuse me. Yeah, our next question is going to come from Felix Chavez from the El Paso Times. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Jarrett. Just a question for you. Just maybe can you talk a little bit about your career and how it's developed and where do you feel like you are at right now in your career?
Well, I'm definitely, we're exactly where I want to be. Accomplish something that all fighters dream of, and that's win a world title. And I don't feel like this is where my legacy ends. This is only the beginning. I set one goal and accomplished it. Now it's time to, become legendary. And I always said to myself, I want to be one of them guys when my career over that fighters look up on YouTube and study. And
sure.
Basically I want to be a big name. So, as far as my career, I feel like I took all the necessary steps, from fighting prospects to contenders to now fighting on the world championship level, and I'm right where I want to be.
When did you start boxing, Jarrett, and was it always your goal to be a professional?
Actually, it wasn't, man. I started boxing at 15 years old, and I was, I was kind of in and out of the gym from 15 to 22 years old, so I've been amateur. And I only had 30-plus fights. So, I was in and out of the gym. I'll fight only when, tournaments come around. And, I ended up stop boxing for a few years. And I ended up stop boxing for a few years. And my trainer that trains my trainer now, Ernesto Rodriguez, he was training me doing the amateurs, and I was working at Safeway. And he would call me all the time and tell me, man, you don't have to box if you don't have to box if you if you know how to fight, man. So you don't have to fight. You don't have to work if you know how to fight. And long story short, man, he ended up passing away, and I met my trainer Ernesto at the funeral, and I told him I wanted to come back to the gym one more time for Tom. And when I came back, he told me if I come back, I'll have to turn professional. And from there, I'm where I'm at now.
Sure. Obviously, it's worked out for you. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you, Jared.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Bar. Please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. First question for Jarrett. Jarrett, we know you're going up against a fighter that has a lot more experience, that's fought a lot of really top-level opposition. Tell us why you think you have advantages over him in this fight.
For one, Austin Trout, I feel like I got the more power. I feel like I have the youth. I feel like I have the size and the length. And, those are pretty much the advantages I have. But like I said, I've been in this game since I was 15. And, I've been in there with some of the best. I know sparring is different than the fights, but, I got a lot of experience with, fighting, some of these fighters that's out here on TV now and stuff. So, Austin Trout's going to be a crafty fighter in there, but like I said, we're preparing mentally for this fight more than physically.
You've gotten a lot of knockouts recently. You have a big knockout streak. He's never been stopped as a professional. So if this goes 12 rounds, how are you prepared for that?
I know I'm ready for 12 rounds. That's never a question with me. In my past fights, I feel like I get stronger as the fight go on. If you look back on every single fight I had, I was never the fighter that gassed out. I was always a fighter getting stronger. So 12 rounds is not an issue. I feel like I get stronger as the fight go on. So we're definitely prepared for 12, and but hopefully it ends earlier than that.
Okay, and Austin, similarly, we know you have the in-ring experience and fought top opposition. Other than just the simple experience, what do you see as your advantages over Jarrett?
Well, I feel like I have the superior footwork, like my mental capacity as far as being able to adapt and figure them out. I think that's another advantage I'm going to have. This is, besides experience, I could fight too. Not just box, I could fight. So, I think he feels he may be the stronger guy, but, I'm going to go ahead and test that and see if he truly is. And, then you go.
Okay, and do either of you guys want to make a prediction for the fight?
Well, my position is I feel like 9th or 10th round, I should get a stoppage round that time. Later rounds, 9th or 10th.
Okay, and Austin, you want to make a prediction? Did we lose him?
Yes, I don't see the line any longer.
He's not on the line?
No, I just seen it disappear.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's take
Good luck
one
there.
more for Jarrett, and then we'll switch over to Lubin and Charlo.
Okay, our next question is going to come from John Cudney from the Sunday Puncher Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hi, Jared. So you've had a pretty rapid rise in your division. 2 years ago, I don't think anyone knew who you were. On 2016, you were in Prospect of the Year honors from a number of publications, including my own. Now you're a champion, making your first title defense against a very respected former champ. Are even you surprised at this climb? where do you see yourself a year from now?
Oh, I'm definitely surprised. Like I said, boxing was just something that I always just thought I would, wanted to do. Was something that came across just to give another shot for my trainer. And, where I'm at today, people ask me, did you ever think you'd be world champion? I said, I didn't feel like, the world champion didn't really cross my mind after the Austin Molina fight, I know I beat a prospect in Frank Galaza, but, I was a prospect who didn't have much amateur experience with me, but when I beat an Olympian, I felt like, dang, man, I'm really good. I can become world champion. And then, I started, my confidence just built from there. And, from seeing me from here, I feel like in 2018 is going to be some unifications definitely happening. And I feel like I plan on moving up sometime in 2018 or 2019 and take over the 60 pound.
Yeah, thanks, Jarrett.
No problem.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1.
Okay, if we don't have any other questions, thank you guys for being with us, and we'll move on to the next fight. The WBA Super Welterweight World Championship, Erislandy Lara, who was 24-2-2, 14 KOs from Miami, Florida. Trains out of Houston, Texas with Ronnie Shields. Erislandy won the BA 54-pound title in June 13. He's made 6 title defenses so far. The only losses of his career came on a very controversial fight against Paul Williams, where he lost by majority decision, but frankly almost everyone who saw the fight thought he won. And a close split decision loss to Canelo Alvarez in July 2014 that was contested at middleweight, which frankly I thought was closer than a fight I just saw with Triple G and Canelo. So Erislandy's certainly one of the most talented guys in the 54-pound division. He'll be fighting Terrell Gausha, 20-0, 9 KOs from Cleveland, Ohio, who trains in Norwalk, California. He's rated number 6 by the BA. He was a 2012 Olympian, 5-time Cleveland Golden Gloves champion, 2-time national champion, so a very storied amateur career. Erislandy has had a last-minute problem pop up with his family. He had to deal with, and he's not going to be with us. Terrell Gausha is doing his medicals, where he has spent an hour longer at the doctor's office than we anticipated, though everything is fine. He just had to wait in a waiting room like the rest of us would. So rather than waste anybody's time, this is a really good fight. We'll make Lara and Terrell Gausha available to anybody that wants them on a one-on-one basis. You could arrange that through Swanson Communications. We'll get these guys for you. So with no further ado, I'm going to move on to what I must admit, on a great night of boxing, is my favorite fight on the card. This WBC Super Welterweight World Championship between Jermell Charlo and Erickson Lubin. It's a battle of undefeateds. Charlo, 29-0, 14 KOs. Trains in Dallas, out of Houston, Texas. Erickson Lubin, 18-0, 13 KOs from Orlando, Florida. Both of these guys have pop. Both of these guys have the whole package. This, I think many boxing aficionados pen as the can't miss fight on the card, though I think all 3 fights can't miss. I think we have 3 terrific title fights on the card. I think that this one has really captured people's interest. Lubin, 2016 Prospect of the Year by both ESPN and Ring Magazine, had an incredible 143-7 amateur record. Turned pro in 2013 and has done nothing but win since then. So first, I'm going to throw this over to young undefeated challenger Erickson Lubin. Erickson?
Hey, what's going on?
Say a few words to everybody.
Oh, well, I mean, does everybody, expect fireworks October 14th? I've been dreaming about this, this fight, for quite some time now. I asked for this fight. And, time to turn these non-believers into believers, the ones that think it's too early for me or I'm too young. I've been having a great camp out here in New Jersey, and I can't wait. Just a week and some change away. So
I'm going to open it up for questions for Erickson first. So if we can have questions now for Erickson.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. I believe our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
You there, Erickson?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, I heard your interview with Brian Custer. They put a little clip out from Showtime where you talked about the fact that you felt like that Charlo was a paper champion because his opponents that he beat in his title fights, Jackson to win the belt and then Hatley, weren't really that well known or maybe not that respected as terms of top opponents. So I'm wondering what made you say that, and also if you can look at your own resume and see the type of guys that you faced, who would match up with the caliber of fighters that Charlo has already defeated.
Say it again, I can't hear you.
I said, I heard your interview with Showtime with Brian Custer, and you said as relates to the Charlo opponents, Jackson and Hatley, that made him a paper champion, that they were not well-known guys and didn't have a lot of respect. I'm wondering what made you say that? Why would you downgrade his opposition?
Well, I mean, I was trying to get, the Hatley fight since I was about 10-0. I've been asking, my managers, ever since, I've been calling that guy out for quite some time. I just feel like, to defend your title against a guy like Charles Hatley, I don't feel like, Charles Hatley is, that good of a fighter. So that's the reason I said that.
Okay.
I don't feel like Charles has ever fought anyone like me. And October 14th, the world will definitely know, what my name is, Erickson Lubin. They don't know who the Hammer is.
Now, the Hatley fight, that was his mandatory defense. I think that he had no choice but to make that or he wouldn't be able to keep his belt. But that aside, I'm wondering if you look at your own resume. I mean, obviously we all think we're a top young talent, as a terms of being prospect of the year. Well, in your fights, what do you think are the victories or the opponents that you face that have prepared you for somebody at the level of Charlo?
Well, I mean, his brother was fighting dudes that, I already beat and already fought. Like, Norberto Gonzalez, Michael Finney, his brother was fighting those guys after me, as well as Noe Bolaños, who Earl Spence even fought after me. So, I feel like, I came up the right way. I fought guys, veterans real young. I fought Noe Bolaños at just 5-0. And I just came up real tough in my career. If you look at anybody in boxing, to fight guys with, a winning record, no matter what they look like, because, I make all my opponents look like nobody. So that's why they might say they're nobodies, but I make them look like so pretty much, I feel like I came out the right way. I fought guys with experience. I fought, hard hitters. I fought all types of guys, so I'm definitely ready for this fight. I prepare myself physically as well as mentally. And, June and October 14th.
So with all that confidence that you have, Erickson, as you go into this fight, is it the kind of fight that you believe that not only you win, but you can get a knockout? Or is it the kind of fight where you're thinking maybe this goes 12 rounds? You've never been 12 rounds before. Talk to me about stoppage versus going the route and getting a decision against a guy like Charlo.
Well, I mean, anything can happen. I'm definitely preparing myself for a knockout. I want to get the knockout and make a big statement like that, winning my first world title. But I can definitely go 12 rounds. I've already been 10 rounds before. But, I'm definitely ready. I trained for it ever since I came into the pro game. I believed in myself, and my team believed in me. And I said that I was a 12-round fighter ever since I got into the pro boxing game. So I'm definitely ready to go 12 rounds, and I definitely want to make that statement and get a knockout.
All right, very good, Erickson. Appreciate your time. Thank you, and good luck in the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is going to come from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Barred. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hi, Erickson. I want to ask you, you mentioned your youth, and at 22 to fight for a major world title doesn't happen very often. Why do you think you're ready? You said you think you're ready, but why do you, in your mind, know that you're ready for this title fight?
Well, I mean, I know I'm ready because, you know, I like I said before, I came into the game and I fought, you know, no opponents with a losing record. Everybody I fought had a positive record, you know, some undefeated guys, you know, some guys who just one loss, and, you know, I fought all types of guys. And, you know, I have a great amateur background. You know, I won pretty much every amateur tournament out there. You know, I've been undefeated since I was 13 years old. You know, I'm just confident. You know, I've been training real hard, and I'm just ready to show the world who I really am. I don't think I've really showed the world who Erickson Lubin is yet. You know, some of these fights has been, you know, a little bit too easy for me, and I'm glad they put this opponent in front of me, and Jermell Charlo, where I can actually showcase my talent, my real skills, and you know, I'm extra motivated. You know, I'm fighting for a world title, and from October 14th, you know, I'm ready to capture the title and make it a dream come true.
What have you seen in his fights that gives you such confidence? Was it, for example, his fight with John Jackson, that he was losing? He got the knockout, but he was way behind on the scorecards at the time of that. Did that fight give you some indication of what you could do against him?
It's not about what he does. It's about what I do. I believe in my skill, and, you know, I'm very talented. I know this, and like I said before, it's not what he do.
And if this goes to a decision, we know boxing is filled with controversial decisions. Do you think, since he is at this point a bigger name and has been promoted more, do you think if you deserve the decision, that you could actually win the decision?
I think I'm a star already. You know, I just proved it in my last fight at the Barclays Center. Everybody loves me. You know, I'm young. I'm 22 years old, and, you know, I'm definitely trying to, you know, like I said before, I'm going out there trying to make a statement and get the knockout. But if it goes 12 rounds, I plan on dominating the fight. You know, I'm ready to go 12 rounds. I spar, you know, way more than 12 rounds. And, you know, I'm ready for it.
Would you like to make a prediction for the fight?
Erickson Lubin wins.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Our next question is going to come from John Cudney from Sunday Puncher Boxing. Please go ahead.
Hi, Erickson. So in the lead up to this fight, and definitely in this call, we've heard how confident you are that you're going to beat Jermell. As a counterpoint, I'm definitely interested to know what you most respect in him as a fighter.
He does have decent power. I've seen, you know, a few of his fights where he did what he had to do and knocked the guys out, like Charles Hadley, of course, and John Jackson. Those, you know, the guys they put in front of him that he's supposed to get out, you know, that's exactly what he did, and he got them out. So I do respect that.
Okay, so next, curious to hear what type of sparring you've been doing, preparation for this fight or previous. Jermell is definitely the best fighter you've faced as a pro. Curious what type of fighters, what size you've been sparring against to prepare yourself for this.
I've been sparring all types of guys. I've been sparring, I've been sparring over here in New Jersey. Sparred, you know, a couple 175 pounders. I've been sparring 168 pounders. I'm supposed to get some work with Daniel Jacobs in the next coming days. So, you know, I definitely been getting the work in. You know, this has to be, you know, one of the best shapes I've ever been in. And I'm pretty sure, you know, every fighter says that, but, you know, it's just up to me to show the world October 14th.
Okay, so last question here. So wondering if you can speak about your confidence in your team and your corner as you head into your first title fight. My understanding is that your team is pretty fresh as well.
Right. I mean, they're fresh to you guys, but this is, you know, the team I've been with ever since, you know, I was young.
So you're confident your team heading into the fight, their corner work in the championship fight?
Yeah, my coach Jason Galarza, you know, I've been with him for a very long time. He's worked my corner since the amateurs, and you know, we just you know, we click, and he definitely knows how to read me. He knows how to, you know, read the other fighters. He's smart. You know, we're a family. School of Hard Knocks. You know, we've been together for 10 years plus. So this is definitely who I need in my corner. It's not that I want them in my corner. I need them in my corner.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. Those are some great answers. Thanks a lot, Erickson.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is going to come from Jason Gonzalez from MaxBoxing.com. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Erickson, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's real quick. When you turned pro, you were fighting under the Iron Mike promotion banner. What did you learn, you know, while having Mike Tyson as your promoter?
I mean, Mike just, you know, he taught me a lot of things. He taught me how to believe in my dreams and, you know, go get what I want. And he definitely told me that, you know, if I stay at the pace that I'm at, you know, he was trying to push for me to get a world title earlier, but you know, it takes time, and I feel like, you know, there's no better time than now. And Mike Tyson definitely, you know, taught me how to deal with, you know, the media, you know, me being so young in this sport, and how, you know, people can twist your words, or, you know, just all the negative stuff that people can do. But, you know, he just told me to stay focused, always be in the gym, always working hard, and, you know, my dreams to come true and being world champion.
Okay. Erickson, it's not often that, you know, we see in boxing a prospect that's fought, you know, opposition that's had winning records. So, you know, no one on your resume has a losing record. Was that, you know, what was that the result of? Was that you requesting it? Was that the matchmaker? Like, how did that transpire?
Well, I mean, I wanted the American names, of course. I asked for it, but, you know, they were asking for too much money, and, you know, it'd be a fight for the promoters that they won't make any money. So I've been asking for the big fights for a while now. I'm just I'm grateful that I get this opportunity to fight once again on Showtime, once again at the Barclays Center. And, you know, this time is for a world title, so I'm extra motivated, and I can't wait. You know, I never wanted to fight anybody with a losing record. I wanted to come up the way I did. You know, it definitely prepared me for this moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck to you. I have one more question. My third question, I guess, is for Lou DiBella. Lou, are you on the call? You there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
How you doing, Lou?
It's been an interesting week, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I can attest to that. But Lou, real quick, you talked about the vision moving forward. We want clarity in the 154-pound division. So obviously, the plan is to have the winners fight each other. But with that being said, how does that materialize? What's that going to look like in the not too distant future?
Well, I mean, we're going from 6 to 3. Then there are other 54-pounders out there that are moving up the ranks. You got a guy like Tony Harrison, who made a sensational fight with Jarrett Hurd. Jarrett stopped him in the 9th round, but, you know, leading up to the 9th round, you know, most people had Harrison ahead in the fight. There are plenty of guys out there to create matchups. Yes, I think the 3 guys here will factor into a further narrowing down of the division. This isn't like an official tournament. But basically, what Showtime Boxing has done is pay an awful lot of attention to the 54-pound fighters in an effort to make great matchups, great fights, and narrow down the division to the very best. And that's what I know that Steven Espinoza and the guys at Showtime are going to continue to try to do going forward.
So, Lou, are you talking about a unification bout?
I think I think unification bouts are definitely coming, and not in the not too distant future.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate it.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Chris de Blasio. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so question to Erickson. This is Chris from Showtime. Erickson, in some of the research that we've done for our announced team for the fight coming up, we discovered that there's a special situation going to be in your corner with an empty stool. Can you expound on that a little bit for us?
I mean, that empty stool is going to be from my cut man in heaven, Todd Harlan. I've been with Todd since I was about 13 years old, and that was the guy that paid for all of my tournaments, and he brought me out to the tournaments I couldn't afford when I was young, or my parents couldn't afford for me to go to. Him and my coach Jason Galarza, they used to pay big bucks for me to go out there, and I used to feel like I wouldn't want their money to go to waste, and this is definitely all of our dreams, including him. So I'll definitely be looking up at him after I win that title.
Well, thank you. And Todd, we know, all of us, I think, remember Todd passed away last November, although I didn't know him personally, but we know he's a special person for you and your camp, and he was a special guy for many, many guys in boxing. So we thought it was important for you to share that. And if there's any press that want to expand upon that, we can always set up for time for Erickson to talk about that as well. So thanks for doing that.
Sure.
Next question is going to come from John Navarro from Knockout TV Net. Please go ahead.
Hi, this question is for Erickson. Erickson, with your resume, you have quite a serious fight resume. You've fought all different types of fighters as an amateur. In your pro career, how many of those fighters would you say truly knew how to fight a left-hander?
Say it again?
How many of these fighters that you fought as a professional, because you're a left-hander, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I fight.
How many fighters have truly knew how to fight a left-hander? I mean, in your opinion, I'm sure you could tell the difference.
I don't understand your question.
Okay. The only reason I'm bringing that up, because my new studio partner, Tony the Tiger Lopez, has taught me a lot recently about left-handers and right-handers and the fighting of real estate in a ring. And if a right-hander does not know how to fight a left-hander, he's going to get cleared, he's going to get beat up all day long. So I was just asking if you knew the difference, if the people that you have fought have really ever knew the correct way of how to even fight you.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I've seen it all. It doesn't really matter.
Has anybody ever taught you about a boxer that knows how to fight a left-hander?
Of course, I've been taught I'm a boxer, but, your question just don't really make too much sense to me.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot. It was nice talking to you, Erickson.
All right. Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck, bro. The best of luck.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is going to come from John Miller from the Boxing Digest. Please go ahead.
Hello, Erickson?
Yes.
Hey, what would you say is your greatest strength heading into this matchup? And also, what do you see in Charlo that you think you could take advantage of the most?
My greatest strength will have to be my mental game and the way I adjust in the ring. I'm ready for any situation. I could bang, I could box. I'm a boxer puncher, so I can mix it up.
Have you
What was
faced
that-
any
what was the
opponents
next
that you
question?
feel are close to Charlo's style?
Say it again.
Have you faced anyone that you think compares to Charlo style-wise?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen his style, plenty of times in the gym. I haven't really faced anyone, that fights like Charlo, but he hasn't faced anyone that fought like Erickson Lubin.
Thank you so much.
I believe that was the last question in queue.
Guys, Jermell Charlo is having problems with his phone service, and I gotta say, I apologize to people who are on the call. You can have 3 good excuses, but there's really very little reason or explanation for 3 out of 6 guys not making it on the call. So I do want to apologize for that, but I will promise you that if anybody's on this call wants a one-on-one with any of Jermell Charlo, Erislandy Lara, or Terrell Gausha, we will be sure to set that up for you. So if you would like that, please contact Swanson Communications. This is a tremendous card, October 14th, the Barclays Center, triple header, Lara Gausha, Charlo Lubin, Hurd Trout. Saturday the 14th, preceded on Fox TV by a doubleheader with 2 separate bouts featuring Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Maris. That'll lead up, hopefully, to their showdown in the next fight if both are successful in these bouts. So thanks for joining us, and again, I apologize for the fact that 3 of the 6 fighters didn't make it. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. You may all disconnect, and I hope you have a great day.